I'm honestly just excited that that super long break is over. Anything that happens now, it happens during the race. Just kind of walking on eggshells the last 2 weeks or so, just like, all right, I'm just ready to be there. I'm ready to do it. So
Ready to get it over with.
I'm just excited to race.
Yeah, you should be. Cool.
I'd say my biggest learning this season is mostly just like kind of how to manage my pace the whole time. I wouldn't even say it's manage it, how to just have it be all out the whole time. I'd say a lot of these guys are still better than me in the beginning, but I kind of know when to start pushing and then kind of how to time that to the finish. So honestly, just trying to keep it on two wheels because this year's been pretty tough for a lot of people. So there's been a lot of crashes and injuries. So just trying to keep it on two wheels and then managing the pace.
When you're out front, I mean, you got all these guys that have all these abilities and they're chasing you and you're just trying to run from them and keep it all together. And one thing I learned with this series is make sure you're looking at the markings. That's like the biggest learning experience this whole season for me. So, I mean, being up front it's the coolest feeling and it's the most intimidating feeling. Like you have the lead. And it definitely helps when you have a little bit of dust behind you with this series because you don't quite have to push as hard. Obviously, you want to push as hard as you possibly can, but you can kind of manage the race a little bit more when you have dust. The first of the season, we didn't have that, so everybody was right up each other's butts and pushing on each other. So it's a pretty cool feeling.
You actually recently also announced that you are retiring from professional off-road racing. Can you tell us a little bit what led you to that decision and what's next?
It's just, I've been doing this for a long time. I love what I do, and I want to, step back and kind of just enjoy it a little bit more. And, there's been days where it's like, I just want to show up to the track, maybe do like 5 laps and be like, I had a good day, I'm going to go home. Right now it's like every time you show up to the track, there's a dedicated reason why I'm there and something I'm looking to get out of it. So it's always striving for the best. And, I've been pushing to this for a long time, and it's kind of just things have changed. A lot of crazy stuff's going on in the world, and, it changes things a lot for me. But so there's a lot of reasons that kind of came to making this decision. It's not exactly where I wanted to go, but I don't think there's ever a right time to end doing this, as a career. I didn't even think I was going to be doing this when I started. It was my dad's dream. So to be able to get to where I've gotten, like it came my dream when I was like 13. But before that, I just liked riding with my buddies. I didn't look up to really anybody at that time other than just thinking it was cool to be able to do it. So to be able to come to this point and be able to do what I did, like I've had a good career and enjoy it, and maybe get to enjoy it on a different aspect, down the road. I definitely will always be around racing and would love to give back to the sport and the kids that are coming up and give people the opportunity to do what I've been able to do. Go to have some fun, but I don't know how to really show up to a race and just do it for fun. It just doesn't work. Like you're like, oh, okay, everyone's always like, go have fun out there. It's not fun when you're not doing good. So we're going to give it my all and, do everything we possibly can to give ourselves the best opportunity tomorrow. And I think we're in a good place mentally and just kind of having fun with it and as best as I can. But, making sure we got all the everything in place and we're feeling comfy with the dirt bikes. So, we're still, working on making sure we're ready for tomorrow. And once tomorrow comes, it's game day.
I seem to be feeling pretty good right now. It's been a slow improvement, but I think I'm going in the right direction. I never usually get a good start here. There's always somebody that seems to be going just a little bit faster than me. Where I really shine here is in like the second loop, really technical rock sections. So I'm kind of banking on that tomorrow. I heard it's going to be pretty technical. So as long as I can put myself in a good position in the beginning, I usually can pick my way up to the front in the rocks. So that's what I'm banking on for tomorrow. It's my last season professionally racing. I took another job with Beta USA as the regional sales manager. So after this year, hitting my head a few times, I just realized, it's time to start making my exit. So, kind of like Austin, I might still do a little bit of racing here and there. But yeah, this is my last year professionally. I would have to say winning the national champion was that was probably my biggest dream ever. It was my whole family's dream. I remember as a little kid, watching my dad and my brother and a couple other people chased the series and stuff, and they never quite made it, and I was always just the little punk kid, and and then I finally grew up a little bit, and like Zane said, I showed up and started making it happen, and I was able to achieve that goal, and that was a huge moment for me, because watching my whole family chase it, and then finally I was the one to achieve that. It was really cool, but I don't know if that was like the total highlight. I think just being able to travel around the country and with my family and race dirt bikes and all the people that I've met, and just all the fun experiences I've had through the way. That's probably been my biggest take from it, is just all the time that I've got to spend with my family, doing what I love.
I'm Ivan Ramirez, and I'm from Ensenada, Baja, Mexico. And yeah, I rep my KTM 450 XCF. Funny thing that Austin was mentioning that you kind of get a little more like pressure on your name, and also on the brand that you always want to do good, and you always got to do good. And I got to the point that I used to ride for fun, and I enjoyed the bike, and I was sick for a while, and I just wanted to be on my bike, and that's the reason why I wanted to come out here. And I kind of decided on Monday, went and asked for a little help on Anthony, because my bike has a lot of hours, and yeah, so I'm just here to have fun and have a good time, and yeah, being able to race with the guys, and yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I just want to go out and have fun. I love the desert racing because I like to go fast, and Lucerne is one of my favorite places, and yeah, you just want to go out and have fun and have a good time and keep it on two wheels. That's the main thing. We always gotta stay safe and yeah, don't forget to smile and have fun, and that's what Kurt used to do all the time. And yesterday was a very sad day a few years back, but on the way here I was actually down in Baja last week and helping some guys, and then on the way here I was like, Kurt would have been really fun to be here, and yeah, so it just brings a lot of memories and good times for sure.
Your first full season racing the AMA National Hare and Hound, how would you describe your season?
Yeah, it's been fun. I've definitely learned a lot racing here, and yeah, I've enjoyed every race, so it's been really good.
And what would you say that you learned about yourself racing our type of racing this year?
Rocks don't move.
No, they don't.
No.
There's a lot out here too.
Yeah.
What was your most humbling moment this season?
Probably nearly the first round here. I smoked a rock. I didn't actually crash, but it was close. Or maybe last round I landed on a rock and broke my sprocket. So one of those.
And will we see you actually defend your #1 plate next sezen?
Yeah, for sure. I'll come back out and do a full season here. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I've got a visa, so I'm going to stay here and race here for as long as I can. Just got to race my own race and make it to the finish, and it'll be a good day.
So will we see you back next season to fight for the championship again?
I plan on it. That's definitely the plan. So hopefully make as many rounds as I can, and this is the one season series that I'm really planning on doing. So
good. Do you like Lucerne? Is this a round that is favorable to you?
Yes and no. I always like it because it's just got so much different stuff between sand and lots of rocks. There's just a lot of, definitely got to stay on your toes. So
what would you say is the highlight of your season?
Yeah, it's a hard one to pinpoint. A lot of podiums. There hasn't been haven't made it to the top step, so hopefully shooting for one of those here in the near
You got one more
future.
chance tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I would say just to, my goal this season was just to do, the best that I could do and just try and get, 1% better each race. I feel like that was kind of, my main goal, and that's what's inspired me, just trying to work hard and just trying to perfect all, the little things and have fun. Kind of like everyone else has been saying, that's obviously a huge thing in racing, and that's kind of why we're all out here. So I would say that would be a huge driver for sure. I would say it's really important, obviously, to start your bike fast. That's the main key. But after that, it's just trying to be safe. Sometimes the bombs, especially out here, get crazy, and it's really easy to get off the line that you've ran quite a few times. You can run the line and you get down there and you're not even close to it. It's usually what happens to me. So I'd say my main I guess goal with the bomb is just to get through it and try and get down there as fast as I can, and and then just be safe. That's the main thing out here for sure. I feel pretty confident. Obviously, Ty's been riding really good this year, and so you never know, anything can happen. But yeah, no, I'm stoked to ride. I never used to like racing out here, but it's become one of my favorite things just because of the challenge. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how technical it is tomorrow, and yeah, just get out there.
We just barely set up my new bike, like my next year's race bike, and I've only rode it a handful of times, so it feels good, but that's kind of like, I don't know exactly how that's going to react. I haven't raced or anything yet, so other than that, I feel pretty confident. Like just, go out and just ride my ride or whatever. Kind of like you said, it is a beast. It can be if they decide they want to market that way, but I don't know, the last few times it's been fun, and I feel like they kind of might be slowly getting more into the techie side of it again, but it's, I don't know, I just tell them to just put your head down and finish the race, or try to, if you can. I don't know, everything just kind of just wanting to be better. Like, I kind of just got sick of getting my butt kicked every time. So I just was finally like, hey, like, you gotta either take it serious or not. So I just kind of more just like trying to go ride by yourself, even though it kind of sucks riding by yourself, or just trying to get more time on the bike more than anything.
How does being on a factory support team, how has that helped you with your confidence this season?
I guess just knowing that the guys have your back, and that you can kind of get advice from your teammates and, from the mechanics on how you want to get your bike set up, and just overall having the support. I know for a good little period of time at the beginning of the season, I got to go to Reno and train with Zane, and that's always helpful. So yeah, just having teammates and the knowledgeable people around you is just really the biggest help.
And the weather back home hasn't been too favorable for riding. Have you been able to get a lot of seat time, or have you ridden elsewhere to get seat time to get ready for tomorrow?
We currently have about 16 inches of snow on the ground, so I haven't rode for about 2 weeks. I think you just do the best that you can do. You work with the conditions that you have, and things aren't always going to be sunshine. So you just gotta show up with what you have and be confident in what you have and do the best that you can do. That's a big part of the sport, and a big part of any sport, especially as a professional athlete, is accepting that it's not always going to be perfect, so you just have to roll with it and just do the best that you can do.
We had a killer start. We got off to first place, and that, like, in a race like this with it being dusty, made it so much easier on me.
Coming into the first loop, probably a couple miles back, I got up onto Austin, and I saw him, and I just kind of stayed out of his dust, and I'm like, okay, pit's coming. It'll be time to like just sit back and like wait for the pit, and so I get a refreshment and then charge afterwards.
Everything that could go wrong for me was in that first loop. I knew if I kind of stuck with it, I'd be able to get up there on the second loop. But yeah, I was really struggling there. It was a wild bomb run and first like 5-10 miles there, and I don't think anyone even knew where the ribbon was at. Everyone's just going that direction, right?
That was sick. Yeah, it was awesome. First ever Hare and Hound and first ever traditional desert race. Been out here, rode here once or twice before, but never raced it, and it was something else. I loved it. I sort of seen Camo, and I thought he's a veteran of the sport, so I tried jumping in behind him and was sort of just following him and staying out of the dust and trying to dodge drains, anything, rocks, and yeah, so just try to play it smart, but it was wild, it was hectic.
The ball was good. I got a pretty decent start, but then the markings were a little light right after the bomb, so I feel like I kind of got lost a few times and was just off in the weeds a few times. But other than that, it was super fun. I actually liked how technical the second loop was. It was a lot more challenging than they've been the last few times we raced here, so that was sick. It was cool.
It was, I mean, a technical race. It was rocky and like it had a lot of flowy sand washes and stuff. That first loop was definitely pretty quick, and I didn't have a stabilizer, so I felt like I was kind of fighting the head shake the whole time, you know, but it was a pretty fun race. I came in off the first loop with only, I think, 1 tip over, and then I think I was like two and a half minutes behind Rachel off of there, so I definitely had some catching up to do.
Once we were on loop 2, I was me and Austin basically riding by ourselves, and I went by past Austin, and after I picked myself off the ground, I was by myself from there on.
Armed.
So the first loop I was able to manage it really well, and then going into the second loop I was able to stay in the lead, and I made a mistake and went over a rise, and there was a rain rut, and I thought I made it, but I got to the bottom and just like ended up hitting the ground, kind of just like beat myself up a little bit, and then that was when Dalton was able to get me because it took me a second. I hit the ground pretty good.
So yeah, it was craziness in the beginning, but I knew if I just kind of stayed calm and started working on the second loop, I would get up there, and yeah, that's how I played it. Once I got to 5th, I was kind of like, all right, we're close enough to the finish, and I knew it was such a big gap to get up to the podium, so kind of just called it there and rode her in.
Yeah, I enjoy racing out here. It's fast, it's open, a bit, you know, flowy. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, loop 2 I struggled a lot with all the rocks and everything, but it's just something I need to work on, and yeah, I definitely be working on that before next year. But
I liked it in the rocks. I was able to pass Chance there, and then I actually caught on to Sammy in the rocks there and sort of just rode it in behind him to the finish, and yeah, it was cool that both us Aussie boys went 1-2. Being a first timer, it's great to ride your motorbike, just don't overthink it, and be careful for a few of those drops, but they marked it well, so you see those blue caution signs and you just back her off a bit and then kick it into gear and get back into it.
I had to put in cruise mode on the second loop just because about 10 miles in I ended up losing a foot peg. Pretty much it was me, Sam, and one of the rear ends, pretty much 1, 2, and 3. And unfortunately, like I said, that thing broke off. And as soon as that thing broke off, I knew there wasn't much I could do, so I put it in cruise mode. So I actually feel really good, even for not riding or working out much. First loop was an all-out battle. That was fun. I haven't done that in a while. There's probably 15, 20 of us just all swapping positions for the first 10 miles at least before we even single filed into anything.
I was expecting maybe like towards the end of the second loop because I feel like I was riding a little bit slower than I normally would do that because I was trying to ride clean. So I was expecting someone to maybe catch me towards the end of the loop, but I never seen anyone.
rocks there?
I kind of just try to keep in my head, just chill out, you know, and just ride as smooth as you possibly can. I feel like I rode pretty good in the rocks, honestly, better than I have in like the past few, like even in Caliente, the rocks kind of took my name a little bit. So it definitely, I was happy with how I was riding in the rocks, but it was pretty consistently rocky.